Just having a look at Drom Karen. Looks cool. Does look a bit dopey sometimes, I have to say. I'm kind of... he does look a bit dopey sometimes, and I'm just thinking that, you know, part of me thinks maybe it would look better if I chose a, you know, just chose a different character, different race, basically. Rejigged them a bit, basically. You can go to, you probably have to pay for it with real life money, but you can probably change his race. Probably change it, thinking to a cat, you know, turn him into a cat boy, but, yeah. I do like this music. Okay, it seems to be working. Don't know why I got disconnected, but I did. I have had my internet just disconnect for a moment, then reconnect. Had wicked issue with Path of Exile with lag. Thankfully, recent playing has been better, but still it was a nuisance. Whenever I see that Hecate Manor thing, I keep seeing 3Ks and it's annoying me. It just makes me think of, like, some people insist on spelling America with 3Ks in it because, yeah. Even though the clan is basically a mocked organization that I don't think organizes to do bake sales anymore, never mind lynch anyone. Yeah, they still do that. These people decide to do it. You know, assert that clan is much more important than it actually is. And to be, can I be honest? People have been asserting this, and I think there might be a point to it, that by asserting that a group is more relevant than it actually is, makes that group more relevant than it actually is. You know, it gives, you know, it kind of thrusts it to the fore, you know? I know, with Irish history, let's go up for a little history lesson here. Have you ever heard of the 1916 Rising? I'm going to assume you haven't because you actually at present can't answer. The 1916 Rising was an IRA event, and you may not know who the IRA are. They're the Irish Republican Army. There's many different variations of them. There's the IRA, then there's the Provisional IRA, the Real IRA, the Provisional Real IRA, I'm sure. I don't know if the last one's an actual group. I don't think so. The IRA, not the Real IRA or the Provisional ones. The later on ones are shunned as terrorists, as they are. The earlier on one has a much better reputation. I don't really know too much about it. A friend was explaining that the earlier on one cared about civilian casualties. The later on iterations just slaughtered people with no regard for them. So yeah, nice jobs. But the original IRA, which were a spiritual successor of the or successor, I remember hearing they're the successor of the IRB, Irish Republican Brotherhood. Basically, Ireland was controlled by England for quite a while, and various groups sprung up trying to throw the shackles off. The IRB, IRA, they were just one of many. They're ones of many. But anyway, the IRA organised the 1916 Rising. The 1916 Rising was an IRA event. I'm emphasising this for one reason. The British government attributed it to a fledgling political party. It was pretty unknown at the time. The Sinn Féin. Or was it Fianna Fáil? It was one, and then the other sprung up later on. I can never remember. I think it was Sinn Féin. Let's just say it was, to continue the point. They attributed it to Sinn Féin incorrectly. It was an IRA thing, but they misattributed it, and as such thrust Sinn Féin into the limelight. It gained a lot more attention than it originally carried because of this misattribution. It was originally a no-name party. Well, maybe I'm going a little far, but it carried little weight beforehand, and now suddenly it got a lot of attention. Certainly the people of Ireland really didn't care for the 1916 Rising originally, they just wanted to get on with their daily life. But when one guy got executed sitting down, he was too injured to even stand for the firing squad, so they executed him sitting down. That bit pissed off a lot of people, apparently. I'm not sure if there's anything else that also got their goat, but that certainly did. And, you know, since Sinn Féin was being misattributed there, well, they presumably got a lot of positive attention for it from the Irish people. And, you know, it's still a political party nowadays. Fianna Fáil came around later on. I think it was, to be honest, I don't remember too much. This kind of blurs my head a little. I think that was formed by De Valera and someone, I don't know, maybe a few other people, I have no idea. I just remember there was a treaty between Ireland and England. Ireland will be split into two groups: the Republic of Ireland and then Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland is 6 counties, segregated, still under English control. The rest of Ireland is controlled by the Irish government. De Valera had sent people. He was the basically there's going to be peace talks, and De Valera was the leader of the Irish side. He sent some diplomats over, but he gave them conflicting instructions. He gave them the title of diplomat something something, basically giving them the power to make decisions without his permission, but then would tell them to come back and talk to me before you make a decision. You need my permission. So the English allowed the Irish diplomats to do that once. Well, the Irish representatives, these people weren't trained diplomats. One was Michael Collins, a IRA leader who's achieved mythic status now. There's a lot of legends about him. There's a few other people there. I don't think any of them were trained diplomats, but they had to play at that role. They allowed them to go back and talk to him once, and they went back over. The English, tiring of this, didn't let them go talk to him a second time, and he was conveniently out of the office. The common idea, at least from what I'm hearing, is that he kind of sold them up the river. Let them make a decision, and them have to, deal with the consequences. When they came back and they had to endorse it and whatnot, basically the English managed to dig up some workings from one of the diplomats, saying that if this was the only way to get Irish freedom, he would go with it. And because apparently he was a man of his word, he had to agree with what he wrote in the past, or some such like that. I'm vaguely remembering it, but also I'm nearly done here. I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here, but De Valera, when they came back, they had to endorse it, and there was a vote in Irish Parliament for it. De Valera voted against it. They and other people voted for it, and they won. There's more than just De Valera and those 3 guys, but the pro-treaties won. De Valera fucked off in a temper tantrum, and later he came back with his new political party, and it was that other group. The only main difference between the two political parties was one was pro-treaty and the other was anti-treaty. There's no other strong differences between them. I know, like, the parties in America have apparently like strong, dividing lines between the two. In Ireland, nah, it's much more meh. As far as I know, it's shades of beige. I did see some person running as a Christian Democrat or some such, but that's, bringing that American kind of politics over here. But I haven't seen, too much about Irish politics, so I can't really comment too much in that regard. But yeah, that's a bit of Irish history for you if you're interested. I don't know too much of it. It was never really taught that interesting. It was boring. Basically, there's some interesting aspects, but they teach it so fucking boringly. Oi. Like, do you want to know something interesting? Well, maybe I feel a little wrong saying this, but I was thinking about it before, and you know Julius Caesar, you know his assassination. He went to some political venue, and he got assassinated by governors. They pulled knives on him. You know, et tu Brutus, he died. Yeah, all that. When you actually look at the details, it ends up coming off more like something out of an action movie. There's like over 12 guys coming at him, and he was apparently capably defending himself. I question how armed he was for it. Maybe he was armed, maybe they'd open carry, I have no idea. But there were like over 12 guys coming to stab, 12 plus guys coming to stab him. They're all armed with daggers. And he's capably defending himself. Despite in our classics thing, they emphasizing him not having a build for fighting. He was of slight build. He even had seizures, but he still did the manual labor alongside his men. He still fought alongside them. This earned him great respect in their eyes. Among other things, like he used to dine with them. Like if they were in the mess hall and they were having gruel, he would have gruel too. Obviously not the same gruel. They didn't have human centipede back then, but he would have, gruel as well. So this was emphasized in the classics course that he wasn't of in classics class that he wasn't he was a big burly guy. That was Mark Antony. He had a build of a boxer, and the assassins intentionally kept him away from the venue. He actually was walking with Caesar to it. They had him I guess they had some guy outside trying to make sure that only Caesar went in. They kept him, Mark Antony, outside or whatnot, because he was apparently a threat to their plans. I guess he must have been a big block of a guy if he could have been a real danger to their, the plans of 12 assassins. I think it was 12. Or it was 12 plus, I have no idea. I have no idea the exact figure, but there's a fair few of them. Anyway, the point I was getting at was, Julius Caesar's capably fending off 12 assassins, or let's just say it's 12. 12 assassins, until among their number, he notices his son, Brutus. Then he falters and succumbs to their assault. It sounds like something out of an action movie, or, something like that, doesn't it? It does. There's no other answer. It does. So anyway, sorry for that tangent, it fucking does. Okay, oh, I'm trying not to yawn too much. I'm trying to restrain it, but it's hard. Soup to guts, and poor boys eat well. Letting beats finger strip for a wastrel's wedge. I like to season them with garlic and red spice before deep fry them. Buttermilk and a million corn flour batter, of course. And I rub the wedges of bread with a bit of lemon and mustard before piling on the shrimp and dill. Not too much of the green. Mott pulpa. It's a fishing tackle. Mott at the third stage of its development into an adult. Live bait for freshwater fishing. Soup to guts. Some people call Marlborough gubbies a trash fish not fit for the pot. I say that all that bottom feeding gives them a nice grounded flavour. They're mighty fine baked, and have made some real nice gubby stock, simmered in white wine with a touch of garlic. Makes a beautiful risotto. A trade craft? Yeah. Eyes bigger than the plate, ain't got no ingots, and skilled labor. New. Anyway, sorry for that little historical tangent there. Hopefully you've found some interest in it. And I do try and be as accurate as I can. Of course, it's quite possible that I was misinformed, misrecollecting things, or any million things. So, if you do have any interest in it, I would advise double checking things yourself to make damn sure I'm right. I'm tempted in grabbing these, but at the same time I'm thinking I am a bit out-leveled, even if I was to switch to my Marauder thing. So I'm not sure how nice these would be. Feck it. These certainly wouldn't give what I want. Okay. If I head down this way, I'll be easily able to find the Chocobo Keep. Faye Gaiman? Oh god. That just reminded me of another rant I could go on. I'll keep it short. I remember seeing there was some writer, and he retweeted something, and I confirmed that it was his official Twitter account. The Tumblr account, sorry, it was reblogged, not retweeted. He reblogged something, and I made sure it was from his official one. And it was really shitty. Well, it was really stupid and kind of shitty. He was arguing that society doesn't show women as people; it shows only men as people. So when you get the worst female writer and the best male writer, if a female writer writes a male character, the worst female writer, she'll make a male character. Best male writer will write a female character. Inherently, because of this alleged status of society, the male character wrote by the female writer will be superior due to the female character wrote by the male writer, despite the fact the female writer is terrible, while male writer is the best male writer ever. Because guys been shown as people in the media constantly, while women are, not shown as human or some such. Now I get society is kind of poor at showing, how should I word this? Yeah, it is bad at certain things when it comes to, well, we'll just call it gender relations. I've pitched about plenty of things like, taking male rape victims seriously, but I don't think it's quite so bad still, or if it ever was, to show women as not quite human. Certainly, a lot of people have issue with seeing women as flawed, but that tends to be the vaunted champions of justice, if memory serves. I'm sure they'll be quick to call it misogyny. I know they were screaming at air conditioning vents before. My cynicism says probably. But yeah, basically they were saying because you have a penis, you will be shitter writing women because of some alleged, not proven status of society. And this male writer was wholeheartedly endorsing it. Though he did clarify he didn't think it was a permanent condition, but a guy could purge himself of this sin. I'm exaggerating, he didn't phrase it like that, but he could, improve, basically. To be honest, it's reminding me of what people were saying about Sarah Silverman. Some people were alleging that her current freakouts about Nazis everywhere, her freakout about Nazis everywhere is simply her trying to stop new comedians coming up. Because here's the thing, she used to dress up as Hitler. She made a Nazi joke there. She apparently also used to do blackface, people are claiming. I don't know if any of this is true, but if it's indeed true, it does come off as a little hypocritical. It was fine for her to be making Nazi jokes, and yet builders putting marks down on the sign as the sign of a new Holocaust is a bit extreme. And does make me wonder if the people do have even the hint, the bare whiff of truth to what they're saying. As in, I'm starting to wonder if, they aren't just, pulling shit out their ass when they're saying she's trying to keep new comedians out. And so I'm starting to think this writer is basically doing the same thing, trying to discourage competition from guys. So I'm trying to weed out the competition. At least somewhat. Then again, maybe that's just my cynicism. But it's a shame.